Hey folks, Craig Robbins here, Team LA with Mary and Craig coming at you, talk to you about doTERRA and 5 minutes on business. And today what I really want to talk to you about is this progression of growth in your business. So I've spent the last 30 years in a sales organization and started as a salesman. And so what I did is I started learning a lot about my product and I spent a lot of time with that. And but over a certain period of time, I started learning about teams. And then I started learning about coaching those teams and those individuals. And I started learning about clients. And I kept moving forward in terms of, it wasn't just knowing my product, it was expanding what I knew. And when I became a manager, it was this huge shift. All of a sudden, all the things I thought that were really valuable, all the stuff I knew about selling, everything I knew about my product, my market, everything going on, that was less important than me starting to understand systems and understanding how to build in those systems and work in a corporate environment. And the reason I bring this up is because what you're going to find in doTERRA, if you're building a business, you're going to find a progression. And I'm going to explain this progression to you and give you an idea of how it's going to fold out, and then see where you are in that progression and look for where your next growth move is, because I think you'll find that there's a logical way to move forward and get your business advanced, and there's roadblocks. There's things that'll stand in the way of it if you don't actually move it to the next level. So let's go ahead and get started and see what that looks like. Okay, so what I'd like to do when you first start off, I find a lot of people when they get into business, their progression is first that they get to know the oils. Okay, so the first thing they do is they get these oils and they start going crazy on them, and they want to learn everything about them. And they want to learn about how they're made, and they want to learn where they come from, and they want to learn how to use them, and they want to learn how to take care of themselves, their family, whatever, and they're spending a lot of time in oil. And what I've found is that there's a lot of people that's all they want to do is they just want to get really, really good with the oils. And it's sort of like cooking. You know, they want to understand all the materials that would be involved with cooking and how to use them and how to use them together. All right, so this is a great way to get introduced to a business, and it's a great way to get started. But what you'll find is a lot of people spend way, way, way too much time becoming an oil expert, and that oil expertise doesn't necessarily advance them to the next level of their business. Some people, they get to know enough about oil and they move to the next level, and the next level is where they just start sharing it with everybody. They know enough and they just start sharing like crazy, okay? And that sometimes they share for a purpose of getting people to buy their own oil. Some people just share because they just want to share the oils. And so they move through this stage of first they know the product, then they do sharing. When you understand sharing, what you're starting to do is understand human behavior. You're starting to get to know what makes people tick, why they would do what they're doing, why they would use it. You learn how to get into their shoes and do solutions for them. And so sharing is a great place to be, but just knowing the oils and just knowing how to share are not enough. And once you decide you want to grow the business, you've got to move to the next level, and that's past sharing. And I find a lot of people think they're growing a doTERRA business, but they are not willing to take this next step. And the next step is the step that they move into where they build on systems and they understand systems. And this is where you start going into your doTERRA office. That's number one, first place to go. You got to go deep into it and start understanding, how does this work? How do all the websites work? How do I actually track what people are buying? How do I look at their cards? How do I start understanding the system so that I can help people have a better experience? What are the things I need to do to help them have a better experience with the oils? What you're going to find is that's not oils. That's a computer system. And so some people on our team, they'll stop and they'll say, Craig, you don't understand. I'm not really good with a computer, and I just stop there. I don't really need to know the systems. I'm going to grow my business without knowing the systems. I'm not going to learn how to get on Facebook. I'm not going to learn how to go look at my back office. I don't need to know how many people are on my team. I don't look at people's carts. If you're doing that, you're a real limiter to your business because you're not understanding the systems. But the systems go beyond just the doTERRA stuff. They go into your own business systems. How are you actually taking in all your receipts and doing your taxes at the end of the year? What system are you using for that? What systems are you using for your contact manager to actually make sure that you've got your hundreds of names list constantly going? What systems have you put in place for having classes coming up? That's what I mean by systems. Systems is a huge portion of it. And what happens is that for a lot of people, they'd rather spend time sharing and be in the oils and not actually build a business and have systems. Once you build the systems, and you get to know them and you start getting good at them, you move potentially to your next level. And your next level is building builders. Building builders is where you basically can say, look, I know about the oils, I know how to share, and I know how to implement systems. Now I'm going to go look for somebody that's really business-minded, that can take this and wants to move forward. And you'll find that a lot of the very best people in doTERRA very quickly advanced from oils to sharing to systems to getting builders. That's what happens, because if you think of it this way, think of the people that you know that are the very best business people you know. These aren't just friends that are your good friends and you like them and they might be good at business. These are people that you know are good at business. And then ask yourself, if I put them in this business, how fast could they gear up and actually start a business? Because business people recognize that if they spend too much time just knowing their product and digging deep and becoming a scientist on their own product, and they don't think about their systems and they don't think about building, they're not going to build this out. And so when Mary and I have interviewed a number of people that are top producers in the company, what you'll find is that people that know a lot about business, as a matter of fact, they knew more about business than they knew about the oils. So when they came into this business, they became business experts rather than oil experts. So that's the tip for you today. The tip is look back at what you're doing, look at this progression, and ask yourself, okay, am I a business person right now, or am I still a sharer, or am I still into oils? What am I doing? Where am I going with this? Because the more you see the progression, the more you'll see, ooh, I need some help in systems. And if you need help in systems, then you need to call up your upline and have them explain that to you. You need to start taking videos, learning, just go after it. And then once you've done that, you need to move to the next level and finding builders. So that's what I'd like you to think about this week is where are you in this progression and where do you need growth? What's your next step? And see if that can't help you go to the next level. I hope this video helps you. Another 5 minutes on video. Good luck, folks. Talk to you next week.